John, thanks for doing this with me. I'm here at the NFPA conference in Vegas, and I'm really fortunate to meet more leaders in safety and first response. And well, introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. My name's John Hart. I'm a technical lead fire protection engineer for the NFPA. Been in NFPA for 15 years, working on our codes and standards, and now various areas on all the other all the other stuff we put out in the world. Everything outside of codes and standards, so training, fact sheets, extra information, everything that we do that's not the code and standard itself that we put out there. It's kind of my role right now.
It's a lot. The NFPA, fortunately, really looks hard at every aspect of everything from human lives to everything that makes our world better, and somehow looks into it and says, is it safe? Is it going to, what can we do to protect everyone all the time in everything? That's a huge endeavor.
Yeah, it's huge, and it started off kind of slowly over the years. We've been doing this for 130 years now, codes and standards, and we started off just doing sprinkler systems, got into electrical systems, early 1900s now, and we've grown to over 300 codes and standards now. We address everything from, the most mundane things you can think of, everyday buildings, to nuclear power plants, to anything we can think of. We address how we keep people safe and property safe, and it's been a huge driver for how we've been able to maintain the economic growth in the United States, because we haven't been suffering giant losses like we had when we first started at NFPA. We're seeing losses of cities, losses of huge manufacturing plants, huge storage facilities, thousands of people dying every year, and the numbers have really improved. Our mission's never finished, but we've seen great success.
Well, fortunately, so I've been in oil and gas, and it's been a silo of mine, but with what I've been exposed to, and being part of fire and safety and HSC and oil and gas, I see a huge opportunity and need for oil and gas to really work on our partnership with the NFPA. If you all have looked at all of what we do, I think we could, as an industry, we're the energy industry now. We're not just oil and gas, and we could do a lot better job bringing our professional expertise to the NFPA and saying, hey, become a member, and then see what we can do to give every opportunity for, if first responders show up and save our bacon, which they do all the time, but give them the resources and education to do that. I mean, even here, I think there was, quite a bit on pipeline safety. And I mean, if you look through all the classes, there's a lot here, but what would it look like if more of our money and education and wisdom came to this?
Yeah, so I think there's a few different aspects there. You talked about the specific training and sessions that you can learn, like things to take back and immediately implement, which is huge, because we're there to keep, we're there in our positions to keep our we're there with the responsibility to keep the operations safe, to keep things up and running, to protect the people who are there every day. The other thing NFPA really offers too, beyond just like that specific knowledge, is just the networking. Part of it is just if you're good at fire protection and life safety, you can connect the dots between the different people that care. So like you said, better interacting with the fire department that's going to come show up on the worst day beforehand, having a relationship with them, kind of understanding their perspective on it. That's kind of what NFPA membership brings in. It's all these people that have to contribute in different ways to maintain that safety. And you can start to just tell that story more and understand your role in it. But then when you understand where it all fits together, that's when stuff starts to work. We can have one-off people doing great work, and if they don't understand what everybody else is doing, or if the other people aren't talking to them, that things can go bad. And it doesn't matter. If all of a sudden we get people talking, and then you start having more of that knowledge that we talked about, in those sessions, specific things, that's when it starts to really come together. And that's what I think NFPA does. We bring people together that cover everything and really bring that safety.
Is there anything we should do as an industry to influence the policies and procedures that you have been on this journey with, and said, hey, if you bring in that expertise, here's how you start working on these policies and procedures? Yeah,
absolutely. I think we rely on input from the public. Our codes and standards are developed open consensus. Anybody in the world except for me and the 300 people that work for NFPA can submit to our codes and standards, and the more perspectives we have providing input,
because it's a consensus, right?
Yeah, and we take it from anybody, so you don't even have to be involved in the group. Hey, this sounds ridiculous. This is costing me tens of thousands of dollars in my operating budget every year.
So you have that.
Change this, or then you can get a response back that says, yeah, but this is a requirement because of this, or hey, you know what, this person makes a great point. But then we bring all these people together, sit on a committee, and people can get really involved in that process too, where we take the balance of everything. Like, we could design things safe as could be, and it would cost insane amounts of money. So we're trying to provide a reasonable level of safety, and everybody has to contribute to that. Because what's reasonable to you, or like me as an engineer, might be different to you, whose like life is on the line at the site every day. Like, there's a balance there, and the conversations and having voices from everybody is what matters.
Yeah, you've seen it firsthand. Like, hey, what you do affects everyday lives, good, bad, ugly. Also affects businesses and pocketbooks, and I do see the more experts and expertise I've seen here. None of this comes from a willingness to be unaffordable for business and our economy. It's like, hey, then here's what we propose, but if you give us feedback, maybe we can figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I could manufacture a certain widget, and I want you to have to put those everywhere possible, everywhere. You get a balanced committee. No one's going to look at that and say, that's a great idea. There might be a certain place in the world for that device, but also somebody could come and then do better than me, and you only need 2 of mine on your entire site because I designed it this way, and that keeps it commercially competitive. Also gives you the performance level that we got to meet. So it's not just somebody like, I'm here to make a ton of money. There's safety to be made. Some people are going to make money in it, like, just ultimately, right? They have to provide the safety.
Yeah, I mean,
so it's a
look
reality.
Around. Good night. You got to, if you have any kind of safety, lane that you're in oil and gas, you've got to come to this NFPA conference, and I think you should be an NFPA member.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we'd love to have you, and I think it's a big community, and it's cool just to connect different people. We got like every industry all over, and some of it's really unique, like energy, oil and gas. Some of it's not. Some of it's just applicable across everything. And so like the discussions that happen are just really cool when you get everybody together.
Well, thank you for doing this with me. I very much appreciate it. I love being here. Eye-opening. The classes are awesome to attend. There's no end to the amount of enjoyment you'll get from these expos, and now the connections, because I'm a member. I'm gonna jump on that, buddy.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Take care. God bless you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.